morning. Good morning this beautiful Thursday morning. Relationship Clinic is the day. On Thursdays, that's what we do right here on Family Matters. And I'm just laughing because I'm a very beautiful, interesting, very loving, romantic couple. It's a power couple. The Kihuranis are here with me, and we shall be discussing about, remarrying after divorce. An interesting topic, I know. From wherever you are joining us, please loop in into this conversation on our SMS line 20316. WhatsApp us on 0786 316 316. Ask your questions. They're here to answer that. Comment and even give compliments, because really when you see them, you'll say something about them. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So happy to have you here.
Happy to be here.
Yeah,
Yes.
I just love the. And it is it Valentine's already? I can see the nails from Val.
And it's my birthday.
And I know it's your birthday. I thought it was also your birthday.
Yes.
Karibuni sana.
Asante
Probably
sana.
Val, you go first by introducing yourself.
So my name is Valentine Kabambi.
Yes.
Kihurani. I'm a clinical psychologist.
Right.
I'm a mom. I'm a wife. And many, many, many other things.
Yes. And not just your typical mom, not your typical.
Yes.
I know that.
Yes.
Daktari, welcome. Introduce yourself, please.
Yes, my name is Isaac Kihurani.
Yeah.
I'm first a husband to Valentine.
Yeah.
I'm a father. And what I do as an occupation is I'm a pediatrician.
Madaktari hapa. Okay. You said you have kids. How many kids do you have?
We have three.
You have three
Yes.
children.
Yes, yes,
Fantastic.
yes.
Probably the ages so that people can just.
15, 13, and 8.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful,
Thank
beautiful.
you.
So, karibuni sana.
Thank
And, just to get us started, probably let me start with the head of the home. Daktari,
Yes.
how long were you married before you got to meet this beautiful lady?
How long was I married? About 13 years. I mean, basically, I sort of separated from my ex about 3 years before I met Valentine. So technically, you could say about 10 years of marriage,
Oh,
because
wow.
the last 3 years were more or less me sort of living alone with my kids.
Okay.
Yeah, before we eventually met with Valentine and started
Okay. How
talking.
did you meet this beautiful lady? I want to know, or even people out there, there's someone probably who is in the same situation. They want to meet people like Val,
Well, I think it's said that, the circumstances under which you live probably provide the best fodder for you to be able to meet people.
Yeah.
So for me, we met at where I work. At the time when I met Valentine, her son was, now our last born son.
Yeah.
was quite sick, and he had been sick for quite some time.
Okay.
And it was very interesting because he was being looked after by colleagues. One of the colleagues who I work with, well, he basically rarely refers patients to me, but for some reason, with Nathan, that's his name, he decided to leave him under my care at some point when he was leaving for some time. And that's how I started looking after Nathan.
Okay.
And as I looked after Nathan, I started noticing something about the mother. I could clearly see that she was going through something.
Okay.
It sort of got me concerned, and I just got her to start some sort of therapy, with one of our hospital counselors.
Okay.
And I think that really pricked her in a certain way, because I think she sort of felt that this is different.
Yeah.
Why is this man so concerned about me? But I mean, so of course that sort of passed.
You're right.
I think maybe a month or two later is when, it's actually a month later, we started just chatting. I remember our first conversation was via WhatsApp. We engaged in a conversation for about 15 hours continuously. This was over New Year's Day. We just couldn't stop talking.
Oh, wow.
So we talked, and that's just how it started. We started just having lots and lots of conversations around whatever was going on in our lives at that point in time. And well, it was a long journey, I must say, thereafter. Lots of things that we needed to do to get to where we are. Yeah, that's how I put it.
It's been a journey.
Yes.
A beautiful one.
Yes.
Look at you guys. I should have hosted you like on 13th and then the next day 14th. Man, this is beautiful. Wow.
Yes.
For you, tell us about your side of how the journey has been like, post the other marriage. Then here you are with Daktari. How has it been like?
It's been a journey of growth.
Okay.
It has not been easy. I get feedback of, you make blended family look very easy. It's not. There's nothing easy about it, because you're not just bringing together two families. You're bringing together 4.
Yeah.
Because of your exes.
Yeah.
Yeah. These children still
They're
carry
part
the
of-
blood.
Yeah.
For our journey, on my side, it's been very easy. In regards to my son and my ex.
Yeah.
But from his side, it's been quite challenging.
Yeah.
It's been, but I've grown. It has made me grow in heaps and bounds.
Okay.
It's made me realize just how much my children love me.
Oh wow.
So the 2 older ones who came from him, those children, I think, we are tied to the hip. They love me in ways I didn't. You know the way you imagine, what if an opportunity comes and they have to pick a side, and they picked us. They picked me.
Really?
Yes. So it's been a journey of pouring love and giving love in ways I never thought I could.
Okay.
I remember when we officially now told people, because my parents suspected for the longest time, because when I left my marriage, I moved back home. Okay. And I met him a year after. That year I'd left, so towards the end of the year is when we met. And when the story came out and people now knew that I was seeing somebody else, the one thing my grandmother told me is, now that you've chosen that route, please take care of those children, because you'll either gather curses or blessings.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we've grown. I think growth is the one thing I can
that
call
has been
out.
constant.
Yeah.
Through the journey.
Yes.
Okay.
Growth, and requiring a lot of wisdom. So you can only do that through God.
Yeah. Amen. Doc, apart from her beauty, because we can't ignore that, you know,
you can't.
And a sense of style, you know. What other qualities were you looking out for and saying, okay, this is now, okay, this aside, but this is the kind of chick I'm looking for, a wife, that, you know?
I think some of the things that struck me about Valentine is the authenticity that I found in her. She was probably the most authentic person, even to date, that I've ever met. The one who speaks her mind, speaks truth to me. It doesn't matter how difficult it is, because I mean, I think for me, when I look back, those are the things I was looking for, because for the longest time, I feel like, you know, you kind of feel like there's always an agenda around different things. With her, what I saw is what I got. And the fact that, you know, she was not afraid to, you know, confront me with different facts, you know, even right from the word go, in terms of who I am, how I'm treating her, how I'm treating different people, how that is affecting me as a person. She's the one person who managed to convince me to go for, you know, a program. I actually went through Man Enough.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, as a program. And I think what struck me when I went for Man Enough is just how similar men's problems are. You know, we're pretty much the same. It's just different circumstances we are in. And I think it's how, you know, in what state you get into the program that matters, what you come out with. Because I think I was in a state where I was searching for answers. And that really helped me to, you know, process you know, what is the problem with me as a person? And how is that affecting my past relationships? How is that affecting my relationship with her?
So at this point, are you dating or you already married?
Yes, as in, well...
Did we really date? Us guys,
it was just
talked for like, and went straight into marriage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, as in, I mean...
We've never operated... Can I really... Did we really date? Like for 3 months, because we met. Initially, we were just friends. That 15-minute conversation, we were just friends.
Yeah.
15 hours.
15 hours.
Yes.
Sorry. Then halfway through that year, at some point I cut him off.
Okay.
Because he needed to sort out himself.
Yeah.
So I told him, I don't think even I can't even give you friendship. I think you need to go and work on yourself.
Right.
And I cut him off completely. He found his way of slithering back in, but that was a month later.
Okay.
Then I think, dated for 2-3 months, then he proposed. But even, I mean, if also on the other side, just because how do you even let go?
Anyway, and from what I'm seeing, also I'm seeing that there's friendship here, as much as you didn't date and stuff like that. If, you know, the first time you're chatting in 15 hours, that's like friendship already. You guys you felt like you knew each other from way back.
Yes.
I mean, so that connection.
As in, we connected literally from the word go. I don't know what caused us to connect.
I think it's good because even how we met was very unorthodox, you know. This doctor was seeing a different... So throughout that year, when Nathan was in hospital, so he's a pediatric intensivist. We'd come in at intensive care status, so HDU status, but because of his immunity, he'd be put in a room. Yeah, he couldn't see, because HDU is open. It's more like a ward. So he would be informed that Nathan is back, so be on the lookout in case we need you. Right? So he knew about us. I kept on seeing him in the corridors throughout that year. And I noticed he's usually the first doctor in and the last doctor out. And then he doesn't remember, but I'd pass him and say hi. And I used to think, this man is so good looking, but focus, he's, you know... So the day he walked into our room, because I'd been told Dr. Kurani is taking over, the name Kurani for me sounded very Indian. So when he walked in, I remember asking God, what have you just done? You know, what have you done? And throughout that period, because we were in hospital for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
He was very, my personality makes people think I'm very strong, but I'm a watermelon. I'm very tough on the inside, but inside it's
very soft.
Very smooth. So even during that year, because 2017 was a very difficult year for me. My son was sick. That was his first year of life. We spent that whole year in hospital, and I was also going through my divorce, my separation. So no one took time. So people were focused on how is Nathan? Is he okay?
But not you.
Not me. And that was, so he was the first person who came and asked me, how are you doing?
That touched you.
He took, and even that admission, there are so many things that happened. At some point, my ex came and tried to cause some fracas. He took care of me. And that has been our journey. I've been told to relax. I got this.
I'm in control.
I'm in control. Yeah, so for me, that was... And then the friendship, the fact that, because again, I keep being told I'm too much, because I'm very forthright. What you say, as he said, what you see is what you get. He has allowed me to just be me.
To just be.
Completely. You know,
Okay.
even in circumstances where I'll be told, no, Val, don't do this, or he'd be like, no, just let her be.
Okay.
Let her be. So, and I feel in friendship, there needs to be openness. There needs to be acceptance of who you are. Because as a friend, I won't keep telling you, you need to change this, you need to stop this. The correction is then it comes in love. But we've just allowed each other to just be. And to be able to talk about anything. Anything. Even if it's a situation where, you know, I'm at work and maybe there's someone who I feel if I get too close to this person, it could lead to other things. I'll come and tell him. And he becomes my accountability partner. and vice versa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doc, what made you just, you stayed for a year after your divorce?
Yeah.
And then what then?
No, 3 years.
It's actually
after separation.
Okay, yeah.
Years.
So what made you have this sort of remarrying? I mean, why did you?
I think when I think about marriage, it's about companionship, and I think that's something that I missed, in my previous marriage, and at this stage, I felt that I'd finally found somebody who, I'm able to relate with in openness, and that for me. Just the sense of companionship. When I think about why did I get married, it's because I needed companionship. I needed somebody to be with me. I needed, somebody I could just walk this life with. Obviously, even given the fact that I had 2 children who I didn't even know that I was struggling to raise them. And let me tell you, from the word go, when I got to know Valentine, she was very intentional about getting me to sort out that bit of my life.
Okay.
Honestly, I feel like our lives really blossomed, after I met her.
Okay.
For me personally, right from the workspace to the children, in terms of what they've managed to do ever since we met, there are many hidden talents in our children that we ended up discovering. Some of them extremely sport related, which she basically got us organized into bringing out, getting coaches and stuff. I mean, our son is probably one of the best swimmers in his school, and a lot of that just emerged just because of the intentionality around developing those things in terms of the academics, in terms of our spiritual walk, being intentional about devotions with the kids. Even simple things like just having meals together, because those are some of the things that we never used to do. So there's so much that that whole thing came with. And for me, that I think is part of the reason why it just made sense.
It does.
It made sense for me to remarry, for lack of a better way of putting it. Val,
how is marriage? This your second one now. How is it like compared probably to the other one?
It's like day and night.
Really?
It's like, okay, let me just give a disclaimer. There's a joke we make in the house, and he says, if there's someone who can make me climb on top of the roof and hide under there, it's him. But it's been tough, but it's also been very beautiful. We've had to do a lot of work, both individually and together. But I can't, let me tell you, I can't compare the two. I can't even put the two on the, I don't think you can even put the two on a platter and compare. It's like, I mean, we've been together for now, this is our 8th year. I was with my ex for only 1.5. I was only married for 1.5 years. So the fight for the marriage, the honesty between the two of us, the fighting together, when situations present themselves and we will join forces and fight. The fact that he listens to me despite being the head of the home. He relies on my input a lot.
Wow.
So I'm being allowed within this marriage to do my God-given responsibility, which is being a helpmate.
Right, right.
It's been very affirming. Because I didn't think a love like this exists. When you hear stories, when you hear, because I grew up in the era of reading Sweet Valley High and Sweet Valley Twins and Mills and Boons. In my mind, I never thought this was possible. Isaac is a very gentle soul. Very, very, very gentle. Roho safi kabisa. So even when we are fighting, it won't be acrimonious. There won't be any kind of disrespect. It won't be, you feel like he's very, very gentle
Okay.
as compared to what I experienced previously.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd say it's been a beautiful journey
Fantastic.
of growth,
Mm-hmm.
of affirmation,
Yeah.
you know, realizing that love actually exists, and it comes strongly because he's a man of God. So you can't, God is love. You can't give what you don't have. So if
True.
you're not in God, what truly are you giving?
Yeah.
There's me being allowed to be myself as well, and being accepted for who I am. Because again, growing up, that wasn't there. I'd constantly be told, you need to stop doing this, and you need to do this, and you need to take a back seat. I'm very type A. I'm very outgoing, want to get things done, want things to be in control of things. And in my previous marriage, that was a problem.
Okay.
It was a huge problem, because I was constantly being told we can't have two men in the home. Yeah.
Yeah, because of your personality.
Yes.
So if you don't get to understand you, then you think
exactly.
you're a tough.
Yes. But here, he's like, he's there to do approvals. Literally, we joke and say he's the chairman of the board. Me, I'm the CEO, CFO, CMO, see everything. So anytime there's something to be done, you know, I pass it by him. Let's say I want to buy a new kitchen gadget. I just tell him, there's this thing I need, is it okay? And he'll say yes. Or if he's dealing with something and I'll come and tell him, I think you need to do it this way, and he'll listen. Or when I see there's something wrong he's doing, it's we have an open door policy to each other.
Okay.
So it's I can't compare the two.
Okay.
It would be very wrong to compare the two. This is like day and night.
Okay.
Yeah. And sorry, even the intentionality to be a husband and a father and a son, you can see there's no one ball that is being dropped. You know, there's intentionality in each and every pocket very well.
Okay.
Especially considering his nature of work and how busy he can become.
Yeah.
I'm one of the few ladies who goes for school functions with my partner. School, kids swimming galas, kids events, you know, he'll always be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is the intention.
It's an intentionality.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Doc, when you're coming back, we may just want to know, you know, did you go through therapy? Was it necessary for the two of you to go through it based on what you went through in your previous marriage? But just by giving 1,000 or more to support this particular ministry, then you may be able to just get yourself or win yourself a contemporary music CD. So go ahead and do that, support this cause, and it will be a blessing, not just for us, but also other people out there, you know. And I get to the socials, Dr. and Valentine, and somebody's saying, hello, I'm so encouraged with your wisdom and how you two relate. God bless you so much. Then he says, let's read Job 14:7-9. At least there is hope for a tree. If it is cut down, it will sprout again, and the new shoots will not fail. Its roots may grow old in the ground, and its stumps die in the soil, yet at the scent of water it will bud and put forth shoots like a plant. God bless your marriage, Reverend Odhiambo from Shimba Hills. Guys, you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
so,
you.
Dr. just before the break, you know, I wanted to find out, like, let our viewers know, is it important to go through therapy when you've just come from a situation like that, a divorce?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think we highly underestimate the role that therapy plays.
Yeah.
And you have to look at it from, you know, different points of view. One of them is just one to help you process what has happened.
Okay.
You know, and I had to go through a lot of that. What exactly has happened here? Because I now understand why God hates divorce, because it's painful. Yeah, it doesn't matter how you related with your ex or your partner, your previous partner. I mean, it still affects you. There's a certain ripping apart that happens that can literally change who you are as a person. So just processing, first of all, what happened. And then going through a process of understanding what was my role in that situation, you know, because there's only so much you can do about changing somebody else.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people sort of mistakenly think that when I get into a marriage situation, I'm going to change this person to become a better person. That's just not possible. In fact, it's not your responsibility.
Right.
Your responsibility is to understand yourself, understand your past. How has that affected your choices, how you behave, and how you react, towards, your partner, regardless of who they are and how they behave towards you. So I had to go through that process. Like I said, I went through the program.
Yeah.
I met a wonderful pastor, Reverend Tom Otieno, who was really, really instrumental in helping me to just understand, first of all, what has happened. So what are your choices now that you know what has happened? What are you going to do about this situation?
Yeah.
Because ultimately the solution has to come from you.
Absolutely.
As a person. You can't delegate that to anyone else. And having gone through that whole process, just also, making peace with yourself, because there's a lot of forgiveness that you have to engage with for yourself as a person. Because whether you like it or not, you've hurt yourself,
of course,
as a person. You've also hurt somebody else, so you also have to go through a process of forgiving that person. Also for the things that they've done towards you. And only if you've processed that are you ready now to start engaging even somebody else. Because failure to do that, you'll just end up transferring all this baggage to someone else, because nothing really has changed about you.
You bleed on someone who hurt you.
Yes, exactly. And now you end up creating a cycle of hurting. Yeah, so I think for me, therapy is so important. I can't overemphasize that. And therapy can come from so many different sources. For me, I had to go through counseling with different, counselors. And even with these different therapies, just understanding that they also have their own limitations. They might have their own biases around different things. At the time when I was getting divorced and I was thinking about remarrying, there's like 1,000 opinions about that, about is it even right? And this even I faced it even with my family, questioning me and my choices at that point in time. So I had to go through it. And one thing that also really, really helped me, especially during that period, and I remember this came from Rev Tom, he said, you need to engage and talk to anyone and everyone who matters to you in your life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who it is. Let me tell you, I talked.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God, I talked to people, friends, family, my mom. Like it was, I talked until I got tired of talking, until I said enough. I've talked enough, I've explained myself, I've explained how I feel, and I think finally I've sort of gotten to a point of understanding what do I really want.
You now have to make a decision.
Now I have to make the decisions. Yeah, so that in itself was extremely therapeutic, I must say. Just being able to hear, and it doesn't matter. Of course, there are people who strongly felt, and they were strongly opposed to even me remarrying. And you have to respect, the opinion in terms of how they feel about it. And sometimes it's well grounded, and I think a lot of it also maybe is probably a sense of fear about what will this do to you as a person. It could be coming even from a point of love. Yeah. What if it doesn't work? What if you get hurt all over again? What does that mean for you as an individual? And then there are people who support you, and they'll support you also for whatever reasons they have, because they can clearly see the beautiful thing. They can see the outcome. Specifically, I remember like my own sisters, when they started seeing what my relationship with Valentine was doing to my children, they were 100% for it. Like finally they have
a mommy.
Who is in their lives, and there's so much change that they could see, positive change.
Of that,
So I mean, so the reasons can be so varied in that sense, and you can't manage this without therapy. Don't even think about it. You can't manage this without therapy.
I know Valentine has so much to say about therapy, and I'm not going to go there because probably what you said is exactly what she's going to say. But Valentine, probably just, and Doc has just mentioned that fear of If I go in, did you have that fear of, now, if I give it another shot and then it fails? Or you went in knowing that, no, whatever it takes, I will have to do it to make it work?
No. The fear is there. Even now, the fear was there and is still there. But there's a running joke we have for, we kill each other in the house. This is not ending. Yeah. You know. And when you know there is no point of exit, then you make this work. You have to make it work. But yes, the fear was there. The fear of, especially because there are children involved. What if we go into this? And I remember actually throughout 2018, now into the small dating period we had and the engagement and all that, I used to cry a lot. I used to cry to God. We'd pray together and I'd cry to God and tell God, if this is not of you, take it away. Because the ripple effect of it not working is, you know, huge. And then secondly was what it would do to the children. You know, there are so many people involved. So the fear is there till today. And that fear of the thought that I might lose him is what drives me to be the best version of myself for him. Or even for myself, to make sure whatever mistakes I made in the past, I'm not carrying them forward here. Exactly. Right? Being completely open with him and telling him, if we continue this way, as much as we're saying this has to work, it's not going to. So, the fear is, it's ongoing. It's ongoing, but rather than it pulling into that direction of it not working, it's what encourages you to fight for it, because it's a possibility. It is a possibility. It is. People should just see the beautiful photos of that family. They should go online and see that, man. In fact, I was like, I wish I could just put all those on the poster. Very beautiful. Thank you. Doc,
yes.
You know, what is the one thing that you've discovered about yourself? Like, oh, so I can actually be like this, or this is me after remarrying this beautiful lady here.
Okay, I think many different things, both at a personal, even professional level. I think there's a certain level of confidence around different things that I didn't have previously. I think I was heavily cowed down by whatever was going on at that time, and I suddenly discovered that, you know, I can stand up, you know, to different things. I can, you know, I've also grown in terms of my understanding of who I am as a person. What is my personality? And of course, getting to know her personality as well, and just learning how to deal with that. So there's a certain part of me, I believe, that has grown because of the nature of my work. I do a lot of counseling because I deal with extremely sick children. And these children come with, you know, parents, families who require a lot of counseling around what is going on. And just, you know, that aspect of understanding, even how does, you know, how does this sickness affect how people react towards each other, you know, and towards, you know, in that situation. So just understanding how to counsel, you know, both parents and kids and talk to them. Have really, really grown in terms of my professional life. There's a lot that has changed in my workplace. I've ended up being given quite a bit more responsibility around, you know, because part of what I do is also training pediatricians. So I sort of had a program that is involved in training pediatricians at one of the leading universities here in this country. So even just understanding that space, understanding how, you know, why do people behave the way they do, even as they're trying to achieve, you know, certain goals in their lives, and how do I facilitate that process? There's a lot that has grown in that aspect, just purely from this. And, you know, even amongst, you know, my colleagues and students, they have families, because we are talking about people who are already qualified as doctors, who are now subspecializing.
Okay.
So how do their family circumstances also affect how they achieve their goals in terms of training to become specialists, you know, and being able to provide counseling around that. So there's a lot that has changed about me. I've really grown. Yeah, as in, and I must say, for me, I always keep saying that God bringing Valentine to my life was such a catalyst to so many things that have changed about my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Valentine. How about you? You know, something that unique that you're like, you know, you didn't know about yourself, but after getting married to Doc, you discover that, wow, I have this potential within me.
One is that I'm smart. Because growing up, I was not I wasn't that parent who was number one. I was always at the bottom of the class. But he encouraged me and made me realize that I'm actually very smart. And doing my master's, I ended up being, I was the second top student.
Wow.
Yes, and this was a medical course, because clinical psychology and like counseling psychology is very, very medical.
Awesome.
And I did it, you know, there are moments where when we're on break, I told you I've been sick for quite a while. And there are moments where I'd do my exam a day post-surgery. Or 3 days post-surgery.
Wow.
So this master's was, for me to attain what I attained, was huge for me. And I can attribute a lot of it to him. You know, that spirit of, it's possible, you can do it, keep at it, believe in yourself, learning to accept who I am as a person and realizing that I'm not too much. You know, there is a beauty in who I am, and I might not be everybody's cup of tea, but you are unique as you are. That I'm beautiful is something I never believed, because one, previously there was an attack on my physical self, you know. So there's a way Isaac looks at me that it gives me butterflies still today. Aww. You know, and he look at me and then tell me, you're such a beautiful lady. I don't think you realize how beautiful you are. So there's that I have the capacity to love. Love beyond, let me tell you, loving your child is very easy. The child you birthed.
Of course, yeah.
It comes very naturally. Yes. But the love I have for Nigel and Nikita is, I didn't think I could love that much.
Oh, wow.
They're not my flesh and blood, and it came so naturally for me. I never look at them and think these are my stepchildren, you know. The love I have for him, and the love I have for him has led me to be very patient. That's one thing I didn't know I am. Being able to be forbearing is something I've also learned about myself. I think those would be the main ones.
The main ones that stand out
yes,
for you.
because for me, especially the patience and calm. As I told you, he's a very calm person, you know. So even for me, I've learned to tone down
to his level,
you know. So even when I'm complaining, I don't shout. In our house, by the way, if you come and you shout, you'll be viewed as a very weird person. From the nanny, because we've been with my nanny for as long as Nathan has been alive, so we've been with her for almost 8 years now. The kids, we do not shout at each other. We do not insult each other. We extend kindness. But for me, it's that sense of calm, that even when I'm correcting you, I can say what I'm saying without being nasty and shouting and, you know. And especially because, especially for him previously, that's what he experienced. And I've experienced it also from his past, in journeying with the kids and him. So learning how to accept myself, learning how to sit still, you know, learning how to, this one, there's nothing that moves him. Yani, even you're in the dogs, in the account you only have 100 shillings. It's like, relax.
Things will work out.
Things will work out, and they do work out. You know, learning to be calm, learning to be still, learning to fully trust in God, because I've also really grown in my faith.
Okay.
Learning how the fact that I can love beyond what I ever imagined.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. The Mezembun and beyond.
And beyond.
Okay. Doc, are there any misconceptions that probably you know of or you've thought of when it comes to remarrying?
Yeah, that probably one of the misconceptions is that it's not possible. Yeah, I think for me, I think it's very possible.
Yeah.
I think also for individuals who maybe struggle with the guilt of it, you know, am I doing something wrong? Which honestly for me, just having gone through everything that I've gone through, even just understanding what is God saying about remarrying and all that, that's one of the misconceptions that I believe needs to go away, that there's something wrong with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things is that just because you've met a second person, that things will automatically work out.
Yeah.
Which is not true. You have to work on yourself.
Okay.
You have to work on yourself. You have to be intentional about even your second marriage.
Yeah.
You've heard of people who've remarried, you know, 5, 6 times.
Right.
And you have to ask yourself, why is that? Why does that keep happening? What is exactly the problem? Is it you as a person?
Yeah.
And, you know, so you really have to work on yourself, understand yourself, understand how that past that you're running away from is affecting your choices today and how you behave towards your partner.
Okay.
So that you don't keep doing the same thing and hoping for different results.
Okay.
Yeah, you really have to reflect on what happened, forgive, and forgive.
Okay.
Forgive, and it takes time.
It takes time.
It takes time for you to forgive and process.
Okay.
Yeah, you might not necessarily forget, but you can process.
All right.
Yeah.
Probably just, you know, Doc is talking about working on yourself, and also, you know, you work together to improve yourself.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you do together as, you know, a couple, just the two of you, minus the kids?
One is every year we take a holiday, just the two of us.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
At the beginning of the year, when we're celebrating our anniversary, we always travel. And he's the one who plans everything. For me, it's usually pack and appear.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes. Previously, we again, I mentioned the last 2 years have been very, very hard for us. But date nights is also something that we used to take very, very serious.
Yeah.
It would be once a week, no children. Even the children knew, because of late they've been saying, hey, you guys haven't gone on a date for a very long time. We gift each other a lot.
Wow.
A lot. I can tell you every month I know I will receive a gift from him.
So that's your love language, the two of you?
No, it's my love language.
Or yours. So you gift him almost every other.
No, I gift her as well.
We used to gift each other every month, and he told me it's enough.
Yeah.
Just stop. Yeah. So once in a while, yes, I'll do it. But for him, it's every single month without fail. He will gift me something. And it's usually paying attention to the things I'm saying I want, and then they'll be presented as a gift. He sends me flowers every single week without fail.
Oh, wow.
Every week, yes. And that has even trickled down to our daughter. So he buys me and my daughter flowers every week.
His lady.
Yes,
oh, wow.
yes. We also talk a lot, and talking beyond just what the family and the children.
Yeah.
We've been told, you guys it's too much. In the evening, do you have anything to say to each other? In a day, as the day goes by, we'll probably talk 2 or 3 times. You know, and that is beyond, there's something, this and this has happened, or there's information I need to give. You know, this is how are you doing? How is your day going? Are you okay? How was, for both of us, how are your patients? For me, yeah, how are your patients?
Yeah.
How was your sessions? How is clinic going? You know, just to we keep checking up on each other throughout the day. And on busy days, he'll even call and tell me, wait, I'm so sorry today, I have to pad you kabisa.
Yeah.
And vice versa. I'd be like, what? Leo? It was marathon, you know. Those are the things I can say that we do together. Yeah. And messages. He sends me, there's some love messages he sends me every morning.
Okay.
You know.
And you're from the same house and then same morning?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, previously, no, it's even reduced. It would be, I've gotten to work, I've gotten to work. And then we talk a bit, then even when I get to work, the same thing.
Nice.
But now we've become extremely busy, so we know we have to talk at least once before we meet in the evening. Because again, when you meet in the evening, there's homework to be checked.
There's so much going on.
There's so much going on. And then even the time you have to stay awake is a very short time. You know. So by the time you're getting to bed, you're both very tired.
Wow.
You know. What we do now during that time to unwind is we always watch something together.
I hear you. As I said earlier, this should have been the Valentine's, my Valentine's. I wish, I didn't know the story is going to go this way. And unfortunately, time is not on our side. So then we have to come to the end of this show. But for sure, I'm looking forward to hosting you guys again. Even just, you know, him raising those kids by himself at a certain point in his life. That's a story. And I believe that we'll have another opportunity to have you. Thank you so much.
Asante.
Well, we've come to the end, unfortunately, of this beautiful conversation, and I just want to say asante sana for your time, for your comments, your compliments, your messages that are still coming in. Thank you so much for your time, my viewer and my listener, wherever you are, and also to that special group of people, the partners who ensure that we remain on the air to keep Jesus on the airways and minister to different people all over the world. God bless you and keep you, and if you feel you want to be part of this community, just send the word partner to 20316 0786 316 is our WhatsApp number. And if you want to send your contribution, your support, you can do that on Paybill 316, and the account name will be your telephone number. God bless you and keep you, and may He make every crooked path straight for you this morning. God bless.